Hey everyone, Angelo here. Welcome to another design tutorial. Today I want to show you how to place an animated GIF in an interactive layout in Adobe InDesign. But first, I want to show you how to create that GIF in Photoshop. So let's get started. Alright, so let's go ahead and start building two separate GIF images, GIF animations that will add to our InDesign interactive layout in just a few moments. What I'm going to do here in Photoshop is go up to File, Scripts, Load Files into Stack. And what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to select the two PNG files that I had previously saved, and I want to combine into the GIF that I'm going to use in my layout. It's going to bring up this Load Layers window. I'm just going to select Browse and locate the two PNG files that I have. And I'm just going to go there into my PNG folder. And the ones I want here is Motive 1 and Motive 2. So I'm just going to click one and hold my Command or Control key on Windows to select both. You can also just drag and hit Open. That's going to display both files in here. Now you can add more than two, but in this case I just want to add two. I'm just going to hit OK. Photoshop's going to create that file for me, and it's going to stack those layers in the Layers panel. So you can see here, once it's finished loading, I'll show you how you can toggle between the two. So there's the blue bag, and then if I turn off the red bag, it's going to show the blue one. So what you want to do next is go up to Window and open the Timeline panel. Mine's already open, so let's open it again. Timeline. And down below you have a couple selections. You can select Create Frame Animation. If you were doing a video, you would want to create a video animation, but we do want to keep it to frame animation. I'm just going to go ahead and click that. Now you see in the bottom left hand corner here, it's showing one of the two layers. I'm going to go ahead and click on this plus symbol here, which duplicates the layer. I'm going to click on the first frame again, and you can see in my layers panel that the red bag is selected. I'm going to click on the second frame, turn off the red bag, and select the blue one. So now you can see down below I do have two frames, that one red bag and one blue bag. Nothing else changes but the bag color. So if you were doing a branding design, maybe updating your portfolio on Behance, you see it quite commonly where designers will use these GIFs in their portfolio just to give it a little bit more sense of creativity as well. So I have my two bags set up. Also in these frames, you can see down below it's set at 0 seconds, so I need to change that. I want to set both of them to play at 0.5 seconds for consistency. And if I hit my play button here, it'll actually show you the speed that it plays at. Now I'm comfortable with that speed, and I want to keep it at that. You'll notice that if I keep it at maybe 0.2 and then 0.2, it's a little too quick. So I just want a little bit of a delay, especially if I'm putting this in an InDesign interactive file. You want it to play at a nice pace like that, okay? So I can stop that, and we can save this out now as a GIF. I'm gonna go to File, Export, and Save for Web Legacy. It's gonna open up this export window in just a second. And this is where you're going to change the settings, the preset I should say, into GIF 128 dithered. Now you can resize it here or just leave it as is. You also have some options for looping. You can have it loop once or just keep looping forever, in which case I want it to be that way. And then I'm just going to hit save, and I'm going to save it right here as well and call it Motive Bag -3, and you can see it's already a GIF. Go ahead and save that out. I'm going to do another version here, so let's go ahead I'm just going to close that. We don't need to save it. Let's go back to File, Scripts, Load Files into Stack, Browse. Now we're doing 2 GIFs here for the layout in InDesign. We did the first one of the person holding the bag. Let's get another version here, 6 and 7, and I'm going to hit Open. And I'm just going to hit OK once again. Now again, that's going to load both images, both PNG images in the Layers panel. It's just a shortcut rather than actually creating a new document and then bringing them in that way. Let's go again down below and hit Create Frame Animation. Again, we only have 1 here, so let's duplicate that. We have 2. Let's click on the first one and turn off the blue layer, blue bag I should say. Click on the second one and just reverse them. So again, you can see down below, we have 2 frames. They're both set to 0 seconds. So let's go ahead and also change those to 0.5, 0.5, and you can play it just to see how it looks. The speed is consistent with our first GIF, so that is good. We're gonna save this one out as well. File, Export, Save for Web Legacy. And the settings should stay the same from your last export. If not, we'll just do it again. Yes, it did. So GIF 128 dithered. You can resize it again. I'm just going to leave it. Looping options, we'll leave it. Let's go ahead and save that. And let's call this one Motive Bag Dash 4. And it is GIF. Perfect. So we're going to save that out. Now that we have our GIF animations set and ready to go, let's go ahead and apply them to our InDesign layout. Okay, so let's move on to the InDesign stage now. I do have a layout here that I previously worked on with the GIF animations placed on the page. I'm going to show you the interactivity in the EPUB preview window here, just to give you a sense of what we're going to be doing in this lesson. So each GIF comes in from one from the top, one from the left. Those bags came in 2D format. The logo had a bit of animation, and then if I click these bags, it'll bring up some product information as well. So that's what we're going to be working on. We'll set all this up shortly. I did set up a page down below. I'm just going to zoom out here. I'm going to locate the GIFs that we just set up in Photoshop. I'm going to drag both GIF images onto my page here. And if I just let go of my cursor, you can see that they are loaded in my cursor. I can use my right and left arrow keys to toggle between the two to rank how you want to place them on a page. So because I want this one to go first, I'll leave it on this one. I'm just going to draw it out small for now, both of them. And then we can resize them on the page. It'll probably be easier to do it that way. I'm going to grab my selection tool. Let's go ahead and click the first one and set it up. Let's maybe do something like this. Let's adjust the box first, the frame. Maybe make it wider. Click on your content grabber, Shift Option Command C to make it fit that frame. Let's go ahead and do the same thing for this one. Shift Option Command C is a shortcut for fit frame proportionally. So there you go. We have those in rough. Now, because I didn't remove the background, if you notice, if I take my guides off, we have white background and then this grayish background. So what I did up here and what I'll do in this case is just create one big rectangle frame. Let's send it to the back by holding Shift Command and your square bracket. And with it still selected, go ahead and grab your eyedropper tool and click anywhere on this background, and you can see it'll match it up and you get a seamless transition throughout. Another option would have been in Photoshop just to remove that background. That's an option as well, but because this is a hard edge here, I'm just going to bring this up so they're coming outside of the frame like so. And then I could just increase the size by going Option Command and then greater than, and then adjusting with your, again, your down arrow, just to use those in simple ways of navigating and moving things around. Okay, so let's do the same thing here. I want to bring this all the way up, and then maybe just increase the size a bit, and then let's bring it down, and then adjust the box accordingly down below, just to give it a little bit more space, like so. Now those will animate once we either publish it online or publish it as an interactive PDF. Now just keep in mind that the other animations won't work. So if you want to use a GIF in a PDF, an interactive PDF, you can. But for instance, if you're going to do it and then add an InDesign animation, that will not work. Okay, so let's move along here. I'm just going to click on my main background here, go to my layers panel, and just lock that so it won't move as I'm working here. Okay, so what do I want to do now? I want to bring in those other handbags. I'm going to go to my files here, and there's one there. So I'm going to drag this one and just make a little version of it here. And then the other one is right here. So let's go ahead and drag that one out as well. I actually want to swap these around. And I want them to kind of be around the same size. So you, in this case, because they're different handbags, you're just going to have to eyeball it and then find a good size for both. I want them a little bit larger, so that's good. And this is the time when you're fine-tuning these images. They're not going to come in exactly how you want them, so just take the time and adjust them and move them just how you want them. Now, because we're just doing this on the fly, so I can show you how to do the animations, I would usually take a little bit more time to make sure things line up and whatnot. Definitely the frames, I want those to be the same height and width if you can. And then just maybe move that down a bit. And let's go ahead and extend that box a little bit higher because the handle goes a little bit higher. So that's good. All right, so let's go ahead and maybe move one over here and one over here. Okay, and for this up here, I'm just gonna actually copy this and just paste it there. Okay, so let's go ahead now and start animating the content on our page. Firstly, let's go up to Window, Interactive, Animation to open the animation panel. I already have mine open here. I'm gonna click on my first GIF image. By default, the name will come up as the name of the file. That's okay, you can rename it if you choose. In the preset, I'm going to click that, and I do want this to fly in from the left. The event I will leave on page load. I'm going to click on this second GIF. I want this one to fly in from the top. So it'll come in from the top, this one will come in from the left. Also on page load, and then everything else is good as well. Let's click on the first handbag. This is also named the file. You can rename if you like. Let's move this over. I'm going to choose the preset. I'm going to scroll down a bit, and I want this to zoom in 2D. And let's select the second bag and do the same animation, zoom in 2D. Let's click on the logo. I want this to dance. You could see a little preview of how that would look. Let's click New Products Spring 2021. I just want that to fade in. That's going to be a pretty simple transition into the intro. All of this is going to happen on page load, unless of course you wanted to have it on another event, like a click, like some click on something for it to appear, but I want all of this to appear on page load. Great, now everything is animated. but I do want to add some other interactivity with these two handbags for this to pop up these two little pieces of information. So I'm going to click that again, and let's go ahead and change that to product info. Okay, good. So I'm going to take my guides off. Let's go ahead and click on this first handbag. We're done with animation for now. I'm going to tuck that back into the side panel, and let's open buttons and forms. I'm going to tear that off. You're probably familiar with this panel by now. We've been using it over the past few tutorials. So I'm going to click button for this as well. And let's go ahead and click this one and turn that one into a button as well. Let's click on the first. Actually, let's go back and rename these buttons. So this is handbag 1. This is handbag 2. Let's make it -1 and -2. Let's click on this one down below, the product info, and we'll call it just that. Product info 1. Let's click on this one here. Turn that into a button. Product info 2. Let's say -2. And let's call this one -2 or -1. And with these information frames down below the boxes, let's go ahead and hide those until they're triggered. Remember, we're going to click these bags and it's going to have these pop up. So you don't want these showing until this is clicked. So that's good. Make sure both of these are hidden. Let's click on our first handbag again. The event here will be on release or tap. So that's good. The action is show hide buttons and forms, in which case we just want to show product info 1. Let's click on the second one, show hide buttons and forms, and we want to show product 2. We're not hiding anything, so you don't have to actually worry about anything in terms of hiding. If you leave them on ignored, that's okay, because you want to ignore them. You don't want to click the bag and have it hide or anything else hide. All we're doing here is clicking the bag and having something appear. So let's go ahead and take a look at this and see how it presents on page load and see if we have to fix anything. So there is a few things I want to fix. Okay, so I do want to fix the timing on these. As you saw in the preview, everything was coming in one at a time. I do want everything to kind of play together. So again, I'm going to go to Window and select my interactive and timing. I'm going to tear that off here. And you can see here it lists everything on the layout. And if you don't have anything playing together, basically they're just going to play one at a time as you set them in the animation panel. So I do want things to play together. First off, I definitely want both of the GIFs to play together. So I'm going to click Motive Bag -4, hold my Command key and click on Motive Bag -3 and play those together. I want the handbags to come in together as well. So I'll play those together. And basically what I'm doing is I'm selecting them, and then let me just do Command Z. I'll select the two, and then down below here you can play them together by clicking this little icon that has an arrowhead with a link chain. So go ahead and play those together. And then the logo and new products Spring 2021, I want those to play together as well. So that's going to shorten the process, so you don't have to wait so long for this to all come together. So let's go ahead and take a look at it again. So that comes in perfect, and then I can click this one and click this one. I would just add a little bit more space between. Actually, that's good. I would probably just move these up a bit. But now that these are set, we can go ahead and publish this online and see how it looks in a web browser. Okay, as a final step, I just published the interactive layout online. You can see both GIFs that we created in Photoshop are working properly. I'm going to refresh the page to see how it looks on page load. All the animation is working. I'm going to click on the first bag. There's my product info. Second bag, there's my second product info. So whether you call it a GIF or a GIF, that's how you create one in Adobe Photoshop and place it into an interactive layout in Adobe InDesign. If you enjoyed this tutorial, if you found it helpful, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe for more tutorials to come.